Yes, the boys are back. Knock 'em out the box, episode 116. My name is Vinnie Paz. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic Left, Right, Left Kid, Mr. Brendan Long. What's the word?
116.
Indeed. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Also with us is Billy Bindlesticks, aka Billy Billions, depending on if he put bets on. He hasn't been betting, even though we've been giving him good picks. If you don't see, if you're listening to audio and not the video, Billy's got the Go Birds. Does he got an Eagles tee on? I can't tell. He's got green. Billy, we
Birds.
got 6 days. You want to give him?
We're ready,
Give him
baby.
one. Hey yo.
Go Birds!
I think I'm nervous for you guys.
Terrell Owens came out and cut a promo and just flat out said in front of microphones, "This game is fixed for Kansas City to win." So
It's pretty obvious, right? Like I got
him
got
getting
friends-
calls or an actual fix?
like him getting calls, him sort of flopping like LeBron.
Yeah. We say on the air of KEOTB about the
remember.
flopping last episode? Because I said flopping is something you say in basketball, and I
Right.
never saw a flopper in the NFL until Patrick Mahomes.
He's a
And
flopper, all right.
I told Billy in a private text, the only way to win is to run the ball and steamroll them. Like if it's even close, I mean, if it's 10 points going into the last 6 minutes, we're cooked.
Right.
What's forgotten is the Super Bowl we lost to them 2 years ago.
We were up.
We were up, and he's getting 65-yard penalty calls.
What are now? Do you guys watch alone, or do you
It's
go?
been a big debate in my household because
Right. So
I've been telling my wife I want the kids not to bother me.
Yeah. So
I meant like, are you having a party, or is it just going to be the Bindle Sticks?
are you asking Billy B? Because you already know about me. I don't know.
I'm not asking about you.
Thank
It's
you.
going to be you and Edgar.
Thank you.
I've been debating, but I'll probably have a couple people over here, whoever.
Right.
But will those people, no names, no blames, will that like annoy you, or are they into it as you?
That depends on what my wife ends up doing because she'll start inviting people. Like she was like, yeah, they so-and-so are going to come over and they're going to bring their kids. And I was like, no, they're not. They're not bringing, they're not coming.
Right.
So
It's really difficult if
See,
your team is in it to enjoy it.
well, that's why I
Yeah.
was like, almost like I might just go out. But then it's like if you're out at a packed bar, you can't. It's not as it's another double-edged sword there.
I don't think B
When I worked
disagrees
at the
'cause he
bars, it
does
was always
all-
dead on Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Because if your team's
People
in it,
have house
though, I think
parties.
it's different though. No, I think people are still.
I
going
don't know.
out for that.
When the Giants played the Ravens, I was working in a bar, and it's 25 years ago.
Yeah, that was the 2000 Super Bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Ray Lewis, Trent Dilfer's got a fucking chip.
Trent Dilfer.
Just remember that when
Kids.
you think of guys, this fucking Eli Manning has 2.
Yeah, but Eli's
Or
got
3.
numbers too.
Well, this is a boxing show. We're not gonna get into that.
Eli's good.
We got a lot to talk about anyway. So yeah, man, we'll see. As far as it being fixed, that's a strong word. Does that guy get every possible call to give them the advantage? Absolutely.
Yo, after the NBA scandal, I don't put it past anything anymore.
Yeah, and I told you,
I still feel like the NBA is fixed.
I know people who are wrapped up in it.
Well, how could you not? It's every NBA referee is from your area.
Whoa.
Did you watch the doc?
Let's not. Of course, I know him.
They all talk like this. Yay. So we were fucking gambling.
I think this is
didn't matter. There was
yellow
whores and fucking we're playing
yellow
ball.
journalism, fake news.
They're all from Delco, Philly, Bucks County, all of them. South Jersey.
This is all slander, Billy. Libel, if you will.
It's all facts.
Baloney.
All right, should we set it off as we always do with some news?
Yeah.
This is
Billy. I wish he'd just stay on.
This is a interesting start off here because I'm looking at a bunch of names that this guy said, and I don't know that he could beat any of them. Edgar Berlanga has named the 6 fighters he wants
Yeah.
to face following his comeback on March 8th. Jaime Munguia, Jamal Charlo, Caleb Plant, Hamza Shiraz, Canelo Alvarez rematch. You can strike that, never happening. And Diego Pacheco.
He loses to every single person on that.
Maybe
Charlo?
Maybe Charlo's washed up and he could eke by him in a stinker.
Like if he finds Charlo floating in a river and pulls him out to save him,
pulls him out, resuscitates him,
and then punches him out.
and gets him to hit the weight.
No, it pulls him out, fights him that night, and
With the seaweed in his hair still,
with the seaweed in his hair,
Yeah,
with
maybe.
reeds in his hair, yeah, and fights him that night. He still can't get him out of there. Gets a decision.
Right now, that fight is this weekend against all 6 names. Can he beat any of the
No.
6 of them this weekend?
Charlo, maybe. Because I think there's so much personal strife there, but no, I don't think he beats
It's
any.
got to be 3 years since he's fought, right? The Charlo that fights at 68?
No.
Is Mel or Maul?
He fought last year. That guy. Remember he like cried in the post fight? Jamal Charlo?
Nope.
Yeah. Jamal.
No.
Yeah.
Who did he fight?
I'll tell you right now.
All right,
Give me a second. Keep going.
All right. The WBO have now officially stated that Teofimo Lopez must defend his WBO super lightweight world title against the winner of Jack Catterall versus Arnold Barbosa on February 15th within 180 days. I think that takes you to like August, but Teofimo Lopez versus Richardson Hitchens is now close to being finalized, with dates being explored in May and June. Lopez is the ring and WBO super lightweight world champion. Hitchens is the IBF super lightweight world champion. Conceivably he could do both of those things, but the throw off is the plan to fight Boots, that we keep talking about.
Yeah, real quick. Dat Charlo fought Jose Benavidez last November of 23. So a year and
68, and that kid was fighting Bud at 47, right?
correct.
And he couldn't hurt him. Benavidez, Charlo couldn't hurt Benavidez. Didn't it go the distance?
You went the distance.
Yeah, that's
10
wild.
rounder.
That's wild that you can't get a welterweight out of there. Janabek is set to defend his IBF and WBO middleweight world titles on April 5th in Astana, Kazakhstan. A challenger is yet to be finalized for his homecoming fight. Look, that guy's got to fight someone, man.
Fight anybody. Fucking Christ.
That guy's got to fight
back
somebody.
to Teo. Yeah, I'm confused by that. That's the WBA said that, Vin?
WBO. So what he has not been stripped by only them, the WBO in the ring. Because remember, he won all the belts.
Yeah.
Everyone has stripped him except the WBO. So they're saying this has to go to what, purse bids within 180 days of February 15th, which I believe lands in August, babe.
Okay. What is their reasoning?
Well, I guess at some point they feel like he's got to defend it against the top contender. And this Catterall Barbosa is for the #1 spot. But if the plan is to go Hitchens in the spring, which it is, that's the plan.
Right.
It's about to be made. So me and you are here and they're trying to do Boots after that. No,
right.
So then they're going to strip Teo of that WBO, and then the winner of Catterall Barbosa.
This makes sense in terms of this is the plan for Turki Al-Sheikh.
Correct.
To say the belts don't matter. Go ahead, strip them. I'm going to outpay you.
Correct.
It doesn't matter.
And then Catterall Barbosa fight the guy who's 2 or 3. You know?
Correct. Yeah. Let them.
Or the thing that we happen that's the most embarrassing thing. They just email that guy the belt when Teo says, "Yo, guys, I'm not fighting that guy." Not because he's ducking them, because he'd rather fight Boots. Assuming Boots gets Bastañones.
Right. Okay.
You know?
So what this tells me is they'll keep a belt around, meaning Turki Al-Sheikh.
Yeah.
Just for purposes until they can establish, their fight league, which seems like the ultimate goal.
Sure. We also know, B, for us on this show, the only belt we consider to be real is the Ring Magazine belt.
Right.
That's the champion in every division.
Correct.
And there is not a current. I don't think there's ever been a ring champion that I didn't think was the real champion.
Right.
Is there for you? I'm going back to like.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's been ones like, goddamn, like that's the real guy now.
Right, but he beat the real guy.
But he beat the real guy.
Like
so you gotta
Carlos
just
Baldomir was the ring guy, but he beat Zab, who had all the. So you just go.
fucking
by
Cambosis
default.
was.
Yes, but he beat the guy who beat the guy
Beat
who
the
beat
guy
the
who beat the
guy.
guy.
So Teo was the guy at 35,
Sure.
and he lost to this guy. So for a minute, he was the man.
Gotta give it to him.
On paper, he was the man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Regardless of how he got that win, because the method in which they pick their champion is number one fought number two, or number one fought number three at most. And this guy unified here, so he's the guy. You know,
I'm with you.
and it's a way to keep the mess of the other four belts,
The fractured belts, yeah.
Yeah, and they're trinkets, and you're like, oh, this guy, Brian Norman has a belt, and Boots has a belt in the same division. Which guy do you think is real?
Right.
Or more real? I'm not going to shit on Brian Norman, even though he's not fighting anyone, but I will say he's not what Boots is, regardless of,
He's got one notable win.
Yeah, correct. Canelo Alvarez trainer manager Eddie Reynoso has revealed that William Skull and Christian Mbili are two of the potential next opponents in the running to fight Canelo in May. I think it's going to be Mbili, even though we said it wasn't. And
Really?
I think there's a variety of reasons. It looks like Skull is, I'll get into it. I'll get into it next, actually, but no, two after this. But B, we keep talking about like, okay, a soft touch, and because the Bud shit's locked up. It's at what's it called? Where the Raiders play. It's locked now, officially.
In Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas, where the Raiders play. It's the first pro fight there. Allegiant Stadium in Vegas.
You're asking me? That's a question for correct.
Yeah, but what do football holds around what? 60 to 65? Billy, do you know what the link holds? B, do you know what where the Gents play? Or the Jets?
The link is like 60 something thousand.
Okay. So Billy, it would be more people for boxing, right? Because the ring's small and you can put people on the ground.
Yeah, but I think you can close the upper upper.
I guess they just see how many you can sell. But B, wasn't it like 80,000 a couple times at the Canelo at
Jerry World, yeah.
Yeah, there was like 100,000 for didn't Pacquiao have a fight there?
82.5 at MetLife.
At MetLife? Wow, that's huge. I didn't realize that. I think the link is like 65, B. So guys, this is at a football stadium. It's it's going to be huge regardless of what you think of the fight. But we're still talking about Canelo's got a fight in May.
Outdoors in Vegas.
Yes.
Or is it? Oh, it's got a retractable roof,
right? I'm sure it does because it's too hot there. You could croak depending on September in football or even October.
Sure.
Let's play the betting game, Brendo.
Allegiant Stadium. Allegiant with a T. And
Brendo,
65,000.
You're not a it's all right. Pazzi was close. And it's probably more if you have people down on the field. You know what I mean?
You're correct. It's expandable to 71,000. Look at you.
There you go.
This guy knows something about
some stuff.
Yeah,
I'm a man with knowledge of the situation.
Ming.
Mr. Long.
Yes.
Mudgy. The left, right, left kid.
Thank you.
Mr. Majestic.
There you go.
How much is Beta-Biev Dimitri Bivol 2, which I think we can safely say is the greatest card of all time. It hasn't happened yet. If all these champions stink it out, I guess we can take it back.
No,
but there's 8.
It's the greatest scheduled card of all time.
It's the greatest planned card, scheduled card. There's 8 real championships on the line. 16 championship fighters on one card.
Right.
Don King would do really good cards in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
This is just outlandish. Brendan, how much is it? If you want to guess in the UK, you know how many pounds, British pounds, and then guess.
How much does it cost?
Yes.
$49.
$24.99.
For us?
For us. $19.99 in the UK, not 20 British pounds.
I'm hopping on the Concorde.
What is there
Save a couple
right now?
bucks.
This
Oh, it's 19 pounds?
19 pounds, 20 pounds. Yeah.
Okay.
24 clams here, 24.99. How you, as of now, could slander this guy Turkey Al Sheikh, I don't know.
I'm not going to say nothing.
The only thing I could understand, and it's something that I share in, and it's just a critique. It has nothing to do. Also, it isn't out yet, released to the public, but the trailer for this is the best thing I've ever seen related to boxing.
Boxing.
The trailer for it's the fight is actually called The Crescendo.
Yeah.
That's the name of the fight. I guess it's the card, but it's definitely the name of the fight. It's the best trailer I've ever seen. It had to have cost a couple million just for a 90-second trailer. I don't know when they're dropping it. But I know people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know a few people.
So that's creeping up very quickly on us.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks away. I was just watching Better Be of training today. He looks ready.
Yeah, I saw him being interviewed by the guy I like a lot. He's got an African name, but he's British. It works for DAZN. He works with him over there. I really like that guy. I forget his name. We follow each other on the Twitter, but I always forget when it's time to remember. Y12 Boxing has won the purse bid for the Christian and Billy versus Kevin Lele Saggio IBF final eliminator to determine the next mandatory challenger for William Scholes IBF super
His
middleweight
name's
world
Ade
title.
Oladipo.
Ali Oladipo. Love that guy. The fight is expected to be held in Paris in May. So there you go. That's already out in Billy. So
Yes.
why is Eddie Reynoso bringing him up? That Kevin Lele Saggio, he's from France. I think he's from Nigeria originally. He's 24-0 with 21 KOs, and Billy knocks everybody out. So they might beat the shit out of each other. That might be a cracker.
Cracker.
At 68, that's not deep. But what are they? Is Canelo such? Well, it was going to be rhetorical. Such a name that if they want him Billy instead of Skull, then he'll just drop out of that and take the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess what I'm asking you is why is Eddie Reynoso bringing up in Billy if these purse bids already went here and they're already locking in May, which he's fighting in?
maybe he didn't know that and he's just saying names.
What does he do? He wants to beat Skull and get that IBF?
That's what I
Go
think.
into the Bud fight?
That's what I think. That's what I think is going to happen.
Does he have any belts anymore, or has everyone stripped him? I mean, he's got the ring belt. I know. So
Canelo?
again, you're the lineal guy. You're the real guy. So Bud is fighting the real guy at 68 for lineal, and he's going to beat him.
It's starting to get a little
hazy.
confusing now.
It is.
Well, because of what's happening.
I agree.
So we have this guy investing, and it's really shaking up boxing more than you think, because people are like, well, I don't need to fight. Other guys that otherwise would fight for a belt aren't fighting for belts. So Canelo has the WBC and the WBO.
And so he had 4 at one point, and in 3 months could have 3 of the 4.
So when he fought Munguia, it was IBF, WBC, WBA. He might have the WBA too, and BoxRec doesn't recognize the WBA anymore.
So in theory, Canelo could have everything, but
I'm going to look it up now.
William Skull has, then could grab that and actually be unified again, which we already know he is. I mean, he's the ring belt. He cleaned out the division in a calendar year.
Right.
And for every belt. So we start stripping people who didn't lose. You're just talking politics of the business. This is just a funny one for you. There's certain ones I go, Well, this isn't really a news bit.
Real quick,
Yeah,
sorry.
please. No,
He
I
also
want-
has the WBA.
Okay, so he has 3 or 4 and would
Yeah.
love to just get all 4 back going into Bud.
That's what
So
I think is going to
yeah,
happen.
you did. You said it. You think it's gonna be Skull. This
Billy Crossbones.
yeah. He was cutting a promo on Berlanga today.
William Skull was?
Yeah. Everyone I just love where the world is going, where we don't know who is who. It's just a melting pot. I told you I thought William Skull was like a white pirate with an eye patch, and he's black.
He's a
Then
black Cuban.
yes, then the other guy that you like is like Willie Hutchinson, and he sounds like an
Yeah. R&B's.
old black R&B guy that drives a pink caddy like the Avon ladies.
He got hurt.
And he's as honky as it gets. I just
Yeah.
love where the world is just becoming a melting pot, and you don't know who's who. I mean, a Cuban from Cuba is named David Morrell.
Yeah, but his name is like Olney's.
Yo, yeah, it's wild. Yeah, most of
something
them are
else.
like 6 names, and all Latinos will unlike us, they'll use their mom's name. Like Alvarez is his mom's name, kind of.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah, there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and then yeah, B, this is just for you. No Diddy. Steven, it's funny. Steven Espinosa says Gervonta Davis only wants the big fights after Lamont Jr. on March 1st. You know, he'll be 31.
This is like a chick who keeps telling you she wants to go, she wants to date you, and then, or she'll go to the prom with you, and then when it comes time, you're standing there holding a corsage, and she went to the prom with her boyfriend Woogie,
right?
Right. Fuck this dude. I don't believe any of this shit. He doesn't care. If they keep throwing, I tell you what will get Gervonta Davis to fight a big fight. If they don't throw money at him to fight a Lamont Roach, but they know that his fan base is so dumb that as long as he knocks someone out, he feeds the masses with that shit.
But when do numbers start mattering? We read them off when we were critiquing Tank. The most recent critique,
yeah,
they were.
You know what it is? His gates are so good that they don't care, and I think his numbers do well, don't they?
Well, I read them all off like 2 or 3 episodes ago. The Ryan fight
did well.
Did 1.2 million. Another fight did 600, which is really good, and everything else was in the 200s, which is not good for a star.
Well, you know what happens? They don't have to pay. They don't have to pay his opponents.
Yeah.
So his opponents don't make big money.
Yeah, Gundy ahead. What do you think? We don't know. We will know and tell you. But Gundy ahead. What does Lamont Roach get? And I'm going to say 1.5.
You think Roach gets that much?
Yes.
I was going to say 850.
Okay, I'm saying
750 to 850.
And what is Tank going to get? 6 to fight a blown up guy that already lost.
So he gets the lion's share of the, like crazy lion's share.
Yeah.
Remember when they used to say what these guys were making? You don't know anymore.
No, we have to find out through people we know. I think you got to have a guy like Torquay Al-Sheikh, who he's insulted many times, be like 20 million to fight Shakur here, 35. Yeah. 20 million to fight.
Well, what I'm saying is,
here.
So it's twofold. It's got to be that to fight Shakur, and not 10 million to fight, Jose Pedraza rematch.
Oh, by the way, Brendan, they think, so just so you know where their head's at, he only wants big fights, right? He named Espinosa named Shakur, who we think is great in our top 10.
Great.
The other name was Ryan rematch. Like, what?
Why?
Why? He's not good.
Ryan's fighting at 47 against Rolly Romero, who doesn't belong above 35
and
should
doesn't belong in the ring.
He should be on a short bus.
He's mentally disabled. He almost lost to the dude who was like 48 from Venezuela and should have lost that fight.
Yeah.
He got sparked out by Pitbull, who, let's be frank, if you match him well, can be fun, but he isn't good.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, we will. So, like, it's wild, man. It's wild to think when you're saying he only wants big fights that you name 2 guys, one of them being Shakur, who's in his prime and very good, that Ryan's the other name, who right now is 2 weight classes above Tank.
Right.
And to me, let's say Tank was willing to go to 40. I don't think Ryan can get to 40.
Nor does he want to.
Right.
And nor does he, at this point, need to for him. He's got Devin Haney locked up and Rolly
Yes.
Romero as a lead-in.
They both signed 3 fight deals with
Right.
Riyadh season.
They're going to get crazy money.
And crazy opponents. Both of those guys, like them or dislike them, and we don't like Devin or Ryan on this show. They're both going to fight 3 fights that we're like, yeah, we're in. We'll watch that. And they're already talking. Loser fights this guy. Winner fights this guy. So those guys,
They basically have their career locked up for the next 2 years.
Exactly. 18 to 24 months is locked up. If Tank gets thrown into that with either guy, I guess that could be interesting. But both of those guys are
It ain't
huge.
going to happen. It ain't going to happen.
They're both huge.
Correct.
Bro, you saw Devin against Lomachenko. I don't care about who you thought won or lose. Let's take that off.
Right.
We have a strong opinion on the show who won that fight.
Sure.
You cannot have an opinion of them standing next to each other.
No.
Lomachenko and Haney. He looked
and it's
like
funny too. Like
Marvin Hagler.
So Loma is small for 35.
He is.
Haney's big for 35.
Yes.
Now it's funny how the tides turn, right?
Right.
Because I don't think Haney is going to last at 47 because where we always say Haney's big.
Yeah,
when you start to look at the stats, like, well, he's 5'8".
Right.
His shoulders are not really
broad. Right.
Then you see him against a big fucking welter, and you're like,
Imagine Bud at 47. Forget what he would do to Haney. We already know.
You're right.
Give him a dirt nap.
But even Bud's is. Let's take a historical guy.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's take fucking Ray Leonard.
Yeah.
5'11".
Right.
Who wound up fighting at light heavyweight.
Right. Let's take Sergio Martinez at 47.
Right. Or
Denny
Margarito.
Yes.
Take Margarito.
Okoto. Any of these dudes. Okoto.
Right.
Yeah, we were just like, yo, this dude's
I'm saying
a
style-wise,
monster.
a Margarito?
Yeah, death.
Margarito?
Death. Oscar at 47 is death.
Just taking...
Sugar Chain at 47 is death.
I think didn't Shane say he wanted to fight Haney recently?
I don't know, but I have a bit of, speaking of old men saying wild things that's coming up. So I thought that would make you laugh that he's saying he wants big names this year, and one of them is he gave 2. One of them is
this is hyperbole at this point.
It is.
You can't take it serious.
You cannot. But I don't know. Steven Espinosa and Javante, maybe you can. Ben Shalom, this is good for us, B. With me and you on this knock them out the box, the kids, our listeners might want to throw eggs at us with this Liam Cameron.
We love a Liam Cameron.
We do. Ben Shalom has told The Ring that he now believes the Ben Whitaker versus Liam Cameron rematch will absolutely happen after significant progress in negotiations. You know what that means? You and me said, Liam, shut the fuck up.
Shut up, Liam.
And he did.
Yeah, he did. And he probably said, like, I'll fight him for like a sandwich. And you know what I mean?
He probably said, I won 500 grand. And they're like, we'll give you 100. And he's like, okay.
We'll give you $10.
Yeah.
And a bus ticket.
Here you go, B. Chew on this. I got to give you great news and then come on news. Like, come on. Come on, B. This is for the knockout, this is for the knock 'em out nation too. Vlad Klitschko is now seriously considering returning to boxing for a big fight in 2025. Klitschko, who will be 49 in March, has the aim of breaking Big George Foreman's record as the oldest heavyweight world champion of all time. Very bad timing to make this choice. There was a little opening there where I still would have said he's crazy, but I would have been like, there's a couple guys I'll give him a shot against. Every real guy, I'm going to be honest. I like them as men. Hey, yo. I like them as human beings. And
Billy, clip that.
No, don't clip that. I like the Klitschko brothers as human beings, as, you know what I mean? I think they're good men. They're good dudes. They were really good fighters. They were just boring. If you think Fury's done, he'll spark him out. If you think AJ's done, he'll spark him out.
Come on.
Dubois will dog walk him.
Do you think that this has to do with the war? Do you think that there's possibly they use some of their own finances in doing anything with the war, and Is there any what is the reason behind this? Just to break George Foreman's record? I mean, you did everything in boxing you could. It doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, at 49, what was the last fight? AJ?
Yeah. Which he gave AJ, fits. It was a great fight. AJ ultimately won by stoppage, right?
I mean,
And how long ago was that? That was pre-pandemic.
I was going to ask you.
Fucking
Was
pre-pandemic.
he
Half a decade.
40, 41? Was that 9 years ago? Could it have been? Could it have been
And he
8,
came back for
maybe
that fight,
7?
didn't he?
Off a long layoff. I don't know if he said he was retired, but that was off of the Fury loss, right? Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
Okay, so I am. This news is okay.
Bro, that was 2017.
What was
The
AJ?
fucking Vlad fight.
I
Vlad
said-
AJ was
I said, was that
2017.
8 years ago? It was 8.
8
Yeah,
years ago.
Yeah,
In April. It'll
so
be
he was
8 years ago.
40. He was 40.
And that was a year and a half after the Fury fight.
Correct. So he was like kind of out. He
Yeah.
had 1 foot out. Okay, so here's the first part's not good news. The second part is though, because we were like, all right, Inoue's going to fight 3 times this year, meaning the fight he just had. He's going to fight 4. So he is going to fight Alan Picasso, which we didn't want, but I'm okay with it if he's
Alan
fighting
Picasso.
Yes. Picasso. June. So Naoya Inoue's 2025 is planned out. June, Alan Picasso in Vegas. September, homecoming in Japan. December, Riyadh season and debut in Saudi Arabia. I think he's got to fight MJ and Nakatani in those second 2 fights. Now, if you listen to them, and them is Eddie and MJ, they're saying he's flat out avoiding them. Now, look, we don't believe people like Inoue duck people. We just don't believe that on this show.
Yeah.
We pretty much don't believe fighters in general duck people, except a really small.
We think promoters duck people, and we think that look, when you're seeing what appears to be some sort of central commission and money on both sides, fights are getting made.
Getting made.
6 months ago, we said, no way Bud Canelo gets made.
Correct.
Doesn't happen.
Correct.
It's going to happen.
Correct. B and I don't think Gervonta Tank Davis is scared of Shakur Stevenson.
No.
We think that him on some level and on a bigger level, his team are like, you're getting $6 million to knock out Frank Martin.
Right.
You want to get 7.5 to fight Shakur and lose that O?
Right.
Which like weighs it out. You know what I mean? So is that a fear move? Like, no. Can you say duck? He absolutely avoided Lomachenko every single year from 2016 moving on. But was he like, yo, I'm scared of that guy? No.
No, and I'm sure privately he was like, let's make the fight or whatever. And his team was like, no.
At that point, the first half of it was Floyd. And we factually heard when Tank would act up, Floyd would threaten him with that fight. Because Floyd knows how good Loma is, where people won't say it out loud, especially PBC types. Oh, he's overrated. He's the PBC
fanboys,
you
root for a promoter. I think we're sort of getting away from that a little bit. Rooting for the promoters. I hope.
We'll see. I already said everything I had to say about Canelo. You were right. Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. It's the first boxing card ever there, which makes sense. I think it's new since the Raiders have been there. And we're going to cover this fight, at least brush over it. But Mirko Cuello, who pulled off, fight was great, who pulled off that fight in the last round, is now the mandatory challenger for the WBA featherweight world champion Nick Ball. That's a fun fight.
Sure.
Mirko Cuello, Nick Paul. Let's make that.
I hope
B.
you guys watched that. That was the one I featured that I wanted people to watch.
It was. B brought it, said these guys are going to go to war here. One guy was favored. B said, I don't know who's going to win this.
Yeah.
It could be the fight of the night. It was close.
Close.
If you didn't have a really good card, which PBC gave us a really good card.
Thank you, PBC. Yeah, it was
really
great.
good fights. Really good fights. We'll get into it right now. Look, Saturday, Amazon Prime. B, what do you think? I always go to you before we even get into it. I'll write my notes. You'll either cut me off as we're going, and then react.
Well,
But
we had a dayside fight, which was Adam Azim and Sergey Lipinets.
guys, so what we said was Adam Azim is on our radar. And if he wins this, he's stamped as a Pazzi prospect. He didn't just win it, he did him dirty. And let me say something. While we did say we think Lipinets is a hair shop worn, he didn't look like an old guy, meaning his feet, he was like this, B.
Yeah, he was moving.
People who can't see me.
He got his
feet are
ass
still
kicked.
good. He got fucked up and stopped. He got literally dropped and he was busted up.
Yeah, it's bad.
I mean, bad, and stopped by Adam Azim. The other kid that we have stamped, what's his name? The kid we like from over there, the white kid that just fought. We just stamped him. He had beaten Zepeda, and then he just beat another guy. Liam, no, not Liam.
Shit.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He just won. He's like 12-0 and then became
Yeah.
13-0. He fought. If you look up Jose Zepeda, then you should be able to find this kid's name. I didn't know, B. Tell me if you did. Did that kid and Adam Azim hate each other for real?
Oh,
as a
nice. I didn't know
not
that.
like ha ha ha.
Yeah,
And
I didn't
they're
know
both
that.
in and they're both in that same weight class.
Let's go.
They're already ready. And I'm like, yo, whoever's their promoters, because I think he's with I think Adam Azim is with what's his name? The other British. I think he's with Frank Warren and Sky, right?
Okay.
But all these guys are cool to make fights now. Because what's the name? B? Him and Eddie are cool and down to make fights. And I think he's that kid is with Eddie. You can't find it, B?
I'm looking
Look
right now.
up
Hold
Jose
on.
Zepeda.
Dalton Smith.
They hate each other. Dalton Smith and Adam Azim. And they're already ready for each other, from what they say. No Diddy.
Okay. So
That was a crazy no Diddy with the Klitschko's. I like them as men. That's a wild
like them as
bar.
men. Hey, yo.
That's a crazy dart right there. That's a crazy one. That's like top 5 knock 'em out the
Azim's
box.
22. Dalton Smith's 27. How big is Dalton Smith? Dalton Smith is 5'9.5" against a guy who's 5'10". We're gonna go tail of the tape here. We don't have, they don't do the reach for the British guys.
Yeah.
You never list the reach.
Well, even when we get that info, it starts getting into fucking the pounds are stone. The other things are not used.
Yeah, get with the fucking program, Great Britain.
Be like America.
Yeah,
GB.
why don't you guys speak fucking American?
I went to a nice pub tonight. Our waitress was from Reading in the UK.
You did?
Yes.
You went to a proper British pub?
A proper Irish pub, with like upper level bar food. You know, when they take it up like a notch.
What'd you eat?
Me and Mom's went. We started off with some steamer clams in white. Split them.
Dig it.
My mother, amazing. My mother had crab cakes and homemade fries. Now, because she was from Britain and it's an Irish pub, as soon as she walked
Got the malt vinegar?
Well, no, busted. As soon as I noticed her accent, I was like, she's gonna know the chippy, because she grew up at chippy shops.
Right.
So we like pulled her over, because I don't like to embarrass a restaurant. We're like, what's up with the fish and chips? And she's like, nah, it's panko. It's like, it's like American.
Yeah.
She's like, people love them, but if you know proper, and I'm like, no, I'm over there all the time. You know what I mean?
What'd you get?
So they had a special chicken tacos. which was it had some kind of lemon lime
That's a
in there.
British. Traditional British cuisine. Yeah,
It is. It was a
chicken
special.
tacos.
You know, I saw stuff going by, B, and it's just like kind of high level bar food.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? So I didn't go to eat like Irish pub food, just more pub food. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But it was really good, and but our waitress was from, you know, I always try to play the game of where you. I didn't. When you ask where you from, she said uh, the England. I'm like, I know that, but Americans are so dumb when they ask her, they might think she's from Ireland or Scotland.
Right,
I'm like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no. I'm trying to pin down your accent
Your
because I know it's
town.
not Manchester. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And she goes, I've actually never been there. I'm like, wait, what?
yeah.
She loves London, but she's like, I've never been to Manchester. I was like, what about Birmingham? And she's like,
Birmingham.
no, I haven't been there either. Anyway,
She's been to
nice,
Philly though.
nice little nice. I was like, I can hear some Irish in there. And she's like, my parents are both from Ireland. And she's like,
Is she a traveler?
and she was like, mixed in with some Philly. And I was like,
There you
yeah.
go. All right.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm mixing.
So guys, Adam Azim, power. He's fast. His feet are crazy.
Yeah,
I want to call out Sky Sports or Peacock. I made this big stink on the show. I said B and I have been missing that the Sky Sports organization made a deal with Peacock in the US. So I watched a card, I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago on Peacock. Everything was great. The stream, the announcing, the everything. The Sky Sports don't joke. They're like the ESPN. This fight was supposed to be on Peacock. I was hyped to watch Adam Azim, Sergey Lipinets. Nothing.
nothing, huh?
Nothing. So I had to watch it in pieces via, social
Yeah, it
media.
was on Sky.
Yeah. But they're supposedly be putting everything from Sky over here for us, B, to watch on Saturday afternoons at 2.
He's fucking
Try to
rats.
watch it on Twitter. Adam Azim's feet are good. He hit did you watch any of it, B?
Yeah.
He hit Sergey Lipinets in the dick maybe 25 times. They got to do something about that. And I'm not calling him dirty. I'm saying you have to learn when going low. My guy, you're going too low. Could it be where he's throwing his shots from? Absolutely. Could it be that he's a monster for 47 and his reach is such that he digs to the body and it ends up going to the dong? But they got to work on hitting those ribs and solar plexus. They got to do the Lou Duva, where they put a pair of trunks on the fucking heavy bag with the because
Stop hitting them low.
I think it's going to be problematic, unless you view Lipinets as being so small that those shots had to go down somewhere, and that's where they were landing.
Lipinets is 5'7". I mean, it's not like he's Nick Ball. He hit him right in the Nick balls.
He did a lot of times.
He nicked his balls.
He nicked his balls. I think it can be problematic.
They're moving this Azim real fast. In his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th fight, he was fighting 10 rounders, and he's fought nothing less since. He's now fighting 12 rounders
against ex-champions with 2 losses, and his only 2 losses. There's no Mikey Garcia was pound for pound, and Boots now is pound for pound. He wasn't when he beat him, and
he lost to Michel Rivera. Yeah. So
yeah. Sorry. I want to shout out Doc Holliday, who hit me up and just said, Paz, just big up for giving Lipinets his respect for how good he is, because my guy trains with him and says he's a goon and how good he is, and just some bad shakes professionally. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he didn't lose, but losing to Boots Ennis and Mikey Garcia, who was in his absolute prime.
Getting scheduled at like a not ideal weight.
Yes.
This is what we have to offer for you. Being brought in as an opponent.
Yes.
These things are tough to deal with. Getting.
And then Michel Rivera, I don't even think we had the show when I would sing the praises of Michel Rivera, and I think he's just done.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, neither have I. So Jason Rosario, Jesus Ramos, who has a loss, but we think it's a win over my guy, who 2 weeks in a row I called him Edison Miranda. but it's
Mhm.
Erickson Lubin.
Erickson Lubin.
You wrote me, why is this guy jumping up and celebrating in the corner? He just lost that fight and he got the win. We view Jesus Ramos as undefeated. We view him as a dangerous goon at 54.
This was actually at middleweight.
Yes, but he plans on campaigning at 54.
Yeah,
I don't
so
like
what-
that. I don't like that either.
Okay, couple things I noticed about this fight. One, Jason Rosario, from what I understand, was homeless after his last loss or something. He's had some we talked about this, really bad knockouts. I was surprised to see
Yes.
this fight being made.
You said it last week. You said this guy, all his losses are from bad stoppage.
Bad.
Not the ref stopped
Bad.
it or
It's a weird career. One thing I noticed the other night, Jesus Ramos, if you look at that guy, I mean, unless it's just the punching power of Jason Rosario, Jesus Ramos looked like he was busting up like crazy, easy. Did he not to you? He was swollen. He was both guys really, but
I think
Since
it's the power of Rosario, if I'm answering you.
okay.
Because I think Erickson Lubin can crack. Either way, even though we've already
Yes.
lost that fight.
And he didn't bust up like that.
Not at all. He looked.
So
ready to
I
go
got to
in.
keep my eye on Jesus Ramos because I didn't like seeing that. And
It's good catch, B. Because I
He,
certainly didn't think about that.
Jason Rosario, of course, was busting up, but Rosario looked good, at least trying.
He was.
Ramos needs work. He's only 23, I think, after watching this. I think he had a really good night against Erickson Lubin. I got to keep my eye on him. He might not be as good as I said he was. I want to see him back at 54.
Here's the
but-
problem for him, Brendan. Here's the problem for him. Okay?
Mhm.
Especially after what you just said. There's a lot of killers there.
I was just gonna say. So that's exactly what I was gonna say. Who the fuck does he fight at 54? He's gonna go back to 54 and fight who?
Right.
Who?
Look, you got.
He's gonna go back to 54. I say put him in there.
Chuck.
Let me look at the landscape over there, and I'll put my matchmaker hat on while you talk. Go ahead.
Who beat Timmy Zoo?
Akhmadilov.
Akhmadilov.
Yeah.
I can't find my fucking thing. It holds up the paper so I can read properly. It's
All right,
fucking
so-
falling all over the fucking place.
It's freaking falling everywhere.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, Murtalazayev. Bakram Murtalazayev. Not Akhmad. Yeah, Bakram Murtalazayev beat Tim Zoo. All right,
Yeah.
so we got
Yeah, go ahead. It's not good for this. Jesus. If you see a lot of kinks in his game, he's in trouble. I think,
say,
are
yo,
you gonna start
you know-
ripping
you do-
names off?
you know who they put him in there with?
Tell me.
Charles Conwell.
I knew you were gonna say that. That's a good fight. That's a good fight.
Who the fuck is Jorge Garcia Perez? Who did he fight?
I don't know. I think he might be Argentinian and
No, he's Mexican. There's not one person on his resume that I know.
well,
And he
who's-
lost.
whose rankings are these?
I'm just looking at stupid BoxRec. You know, of course, they got that dumb fucking algorithm that they use. Anyway, BoxRec is great for records and history. It is terrible for rankings. So
I don't
Jesus
know.
Ramos gets a stoppage. What'd you think about the stoppage? If it wasn't Jason Rosario, I don't think that fight gets stopped.
I think the ref was very much aware that this guy's been sparked out 4 times. Look, I called the 6-round knockout. I think you agreed with me.
Mhm.
It ended up being stopped in 8. He had him in the 6, by the way. So
Yeah.
the great Pazzini was really close and very angered by Ramos. I really like what B said. I'm gonna keep it a rack. If B thinks he's not he's got too much to work on.
Got some defense to work on. He's got where to pick his spots to work on. And I noticed at times he tends to cross his feet moving laterally. So they got to correct that. Because if someone gives him the old bum's rush, he's gonna fall backwards trying to get out of the way.
I don't.
I didn't like that.
It's
I didn't
it's
like that.
it's tough, man, because
Hmm?
look, Rosario was good, man. He was the champion. Um,
Yeah.
what was he doing? Um,
What was he doing the other night in the fight?
I'll tell you, no,
Oh,
how much now what was he doing? How much did he have? Do you think Jason Rosario should stop? If you the answer is yes,
should he
5
be
losses,
licensed anywhere? No,
should anyone give him should
no,
anyone get
no.
should any commission
And he was homeless.
um
So he's got like personal stuff outside of the ring where he's not getting the right nutrition, training, basic shelter.
I it's hard for me to call things that seem to be going your way. It's harder for me to pick up, not to pick up, but when someone's doing stuff that I don't like in a fight, part of me is going, is he doing this because he knows he got him and it's just a matter of time?
I don't think that's the case here. I think he's too young for that. I think also when you make a statement, I'm going right back down to 54. It's because you go, me and everyone else thought I'd get this guy out of here in like 3 rounds.
And I didn't. Yeah.
And I didn't. And I'm punching this guy and he's not going anywhere. And this is a guy that they set up for me to knock out.
And I also called for a brutal KO and it wasn't one.
No.
So and B is right. Would this have been stopped if it wasn't a guy who was
I don't
chinned
think so.
in every loss? So B, they have Ramos at 8. Guess who's at 9? Charles Conwell.
Yeah, they got to make that fight.
Make that fight. That Michel Soro, he's hanging around at 10. He's 36-4. A guy like that, okay. And then you start getting into Tim Tszyu, Boachuk, Virgil Ortiz, Mortalazayev, Fundora, and Madrimov. I'm not counting Bud because we don't know what he's doing. I think he should fight someone at 60 to adjust his body. I genuinely believe that. Like a solid 60 guy. I'd fucking fight Janabek and win a fucking belt on the way to 68. That's what I would do. If I was
Janabek's really big though, isn't he?
He is, but Canelo's bigger than him.
No, I mean height-wise. And he's a southpaw.
Yeah, but he's really got a straight left hand.
6 feet tall.
Guys, on the non-televised, well, not on the pay-per-view. On the PBC YouTube, they started the undercards at like 5:30.
Yeah, by the way, way to go, fucking boxing. To put it on a different, I love when they do that. Here's a totally different platform. You got to search yourself.
Yeah, I'm paying 70 clams. You can't just throw this on there.
Put it on the same fucking thing.
Give me a freaking bone.
Give me a bone here, Scott.
You can't just start it at 5:30.
Hello, Scott.
Carmel Moulton, who we've spoken about, came in 4,000 pounds overweight at a fight in Philly, in New Jersey, or in Philly.
Yeah.
Was the fight Philly?
No, it was down in Lake City.
No, his fight before that, he fought in Philly at 2,300 and sparked someone out to the body. He fought someone named Frank Zaldivar.
Zaldivar.
Got him out of there in 3. It's time to start showing Carmel Moulton on cards so people can start getting.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
Really young, and he's really good. And if you want him to be a future star, which is clearly the fucking plan, get people used to seeing him early. That's all.
Correct.
B called out Mirko Cuello, Christian Barrera, featherweights, as, hey, guys, keep your eye out for this. They didn't put it on the fucking pay-per-view, so if you weren't watching, what a fight. Go watch it on YouTube.
Cuello went down.
He went down, and it wasn't looking good, and then comes back and stops him in the 10th.
Final round,
and it was hairy on the
body
card.
shots.
Yes, just real goon shit. Mirko Cuello, Nick Ball. Let's make
a lot of
fun.
Let's go, baby.
A lot of fun. Props to PBC. So then so we go Isaac Cruz, Angel Fierro.
Angel Pontiac Fierro.
Pontiac Fierro. B loves it. Look, the bell rings. It starts all out war.
Yo,
I don't see a jab. I don't see anyone slipping. Just
this
war.
shit was fucking nuts.
Pure machismo. This Fierro is taller, longer. He's been at 140, B, which
Right.
he could have
Cruz
pumped.
shouldn't be at 140. His body looks terrible now.
No. He looks like a wet sock. This Angel Pontiac Fierro could have pumped the jab and boxed, but it never even crossed his maniac.
Nah.
Not once did he even think, maybe if I pump this jab, keep him at the end of the shots, this will be easy. The way Ryo did.
I tell you,
His chin is crazy. Dog.
crazy, and he's never met a right hand he didn't love. He was just blocking them shots with his face. I thought the left side of his face was broken, but in like what was it? Cruz kicks his ass all over the ring for the first 2 rounds.
Yeah,
Third
I like
round
that he was throwing with
them, punching with them. Yeah, he knows no other way.
and he was landing shots inside of those looping shots. That
Cruz does better when he throws that straight right hand. If he
I
leads
agree.
with that,
Why does he?
he was decapitating this guy.
Why does
with
he
that.
load up on those leaping?
And he gets all like juiced. You could see him. He gets like fucking. He's a little violent fucker. He looks just like Sammy the Bull.
I thought it was a close fight. I thought the scorecards were way
too
wide and awful.
Was it 118, 110?
Yeah, I'm not calling any kind of robbery. It was close. If you gave,
I didn't like that. I didn't like the scorecards. It took away from the fight.
I wrote awful scorecards, just awful, meaning the cards were
Takes away
terrible.
from the fight.
It does. Agreed.
A lot of fun. There was a lot of oohs and ahs at the bar I was at. By the way, thanks for all the knockies for showing up, even though I sent it out on the stories. All you New York knockies, I'm very disappointed in you. We were at a great bar, which now I'm not going to say the name of it because none of you showed up.
Right.
So
let's start with our first apology of the night.
Oh,
to our guy, the cool boy, Scooter.
Scooter. No longer cool boy.
Yes.
Go to Scooter to the weigh-in.
He's always been called Scooter since a kid. The cool boy, I guess, was more of a boxing thing, maybe. We said, look, this guy took off his fucking rat tail. His powers are gone. He got beat up he got stopped by Inoue, which we didn't consider. That's not a fucking loss that you're ashamed of, guys. But he didn't look good in his fight after that. And we said, we were iffy. We still never said he's not our guy. We love him. This is our guy. If he's still good,
he looked. If this is where featherweight is, like where he wants to park it for a while, he looks like he's grown into the weight rather nicely.
This is look. He's had a lot of really good performances.
Yes,
this is up there. It's look. The first fight with Figueroa was probably more fun to watch. This was more pretty to watch.
Figueroa, first of all,
B, do we even get into the kid's tweet that our heads blew up that wrote me?
Oh, forget it. I don't know. Do you want to focus on that kind of stuff?
No. All right, we don't have to. Look, Steph's outfit was diabolical. It was
distracting me for a while.
I'd say you've spent lots of time in this city, not just because of fighting, because of friends that went to school here. It may be the most Philly thing I've ever seen.
Or New York thing.
Yes.
Jorts and Tims?
Jorts and Tims into the ring. The construction Tims were made into boxing boots by that dude who's doing everyone shit. Now I forget his name, but he's really good. He's a paisan, that kid. It does everyone shit now.
It was cool. Everyone was kind of looking around at each other.
People's tweeting was I'm talking people who don't know
boxing.
Yes, just who had it on. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's a big fight, put it on in the background. Or people who use fights as an excuse to have a party. Is this, blackballs? Is this N-word used in there with construction Tims?
No, people thought it was real Tims.
Yes, they still do. Except me and you know that you can't fight in that. No, they were based off Tims and carved up.
Yeah,
like they got Tims and then carved them up to make boxing shoes. But all my black homies, is this motherfucker crazy? He's in there with this the most.
I don't think Figueroa hit him once with a real shot. It was more pawing and kind of grabbing on him.
I never start with this ever. I had a 121. I had a 121.
Yeah,
I had a shutout. These cards were weird because I'll get into that. This outfit, we should be talking about it more, but we got a show to do. Not much going on in 1 or 2, B, which to me,
Did it not at times when I was watching this though, to focus back on the outfit, I was like, am I watching a fight on YouTube? Like a street fight on YouTube? It kind of was weird. Like I'm watching this thing and I'm like, like I watched, I think I've said on the show, like I am addicted to watching street fights on the internet. I watch it constantly.
Yes, you send them to me sometimes. Look,
right,
this guy's got hands. B, you're in the 5 barrels daily. You know when you see some shit and you're like, oh, I took too much of cough medicine because I'm not well. And or is this a fever dream? Like just, bro, you're from New York.
Yeah.
Like, right. And I'm from Philly. We see some shit. I'm like, every round I'm going, he's in fucking construction, Tim's.
And jorts.
Yeah, if he kept the rat tail, it would have been the most illmatic thing ever.
So and his mouthpiece said, fuck you on
fuck you, which he smiled in the corner because he felt the shit that what we said about Steph was still very positive. And by the way, guys, if you think, oh, they were wrong, we said we shouldn't root for people. We're supposed to be we're supposed to be journalists.
And we owe him an apology.
But we said we're rooting for Steph. We think Figueroa wins it. So we really don't lose here because it was Boots and Cool Boy Steph for years on this show that we would just heap praises upon before they became names. Look, not much in 1 and 2, but when not much happens, you give them to the boxer. You know that better than anyone.
Man, he was tagging the shit out of Figueroa.
Yes, counters. Bozy Ennis giving weird instructions again, like you.
Was he?
Do his impression.
Okay, all right.
Weird.
Tell me, because I think I told you we had audio issues at the bar.
You did.
All right, tell me what he was saying.
Get him. Laying that right hand, not saying, look, he's doing nothing but come forward. He also, for a lot of times, was telling him angrily, stay off the fucking ropes, when I thought Steph was doing beautiful work off the ropes. And
I think he was afraid, maybe he was afraid he was going to lose the decision?
Or get clipped by, I don't know. I think when you can fight off the ropes and do well, Ali made a career out of it, certainly in the second half of his career. I don't know, B. I don't want it to look like it's this Bozianish thrashing because it's not. But look, Figueroa was constantly switching, B. I don't know if that was the plan or if
it was bad. Every time he switched, he got whacked in the teeth.
That's literally what I wrote because Steph's timing is back to being so good.
He just looked at bump.
Bop. He would crack him straight right on the button, B. Right on the fucking button.
Like I said, Fulton looked strong and healthy. Where Figueroa, I guess at the lower weight classes, always seemed bigger. It's almost like Fulton grew in height too. Like they sort of like Figueroa didn't seem as big and.
No, he still seems a little bit rangy, but it didn't seem like, oh, wow, one of those. When Figueroa tried to make it an inside fight, B, Steph would crack him on his way in and either roll out or clinch.
Yeah.
That was Boziannis. Respect. Okay. Clinch him on the inside. Now, because he's a Philly guy, B, first off, this was all beautiful stuff. What he would do, crack him coming in, then clinching. He just wouldn't let Figueroa get going, which is Figueroa's game, is to get going.
Yeah, and then fight like an avalanche.
Yes, but this guy's from Philly. At some point, B, go, fuck this. I can beat him up on the inside too. Stayed inside and went to work. And hooks to the body, uppercuts. Then he take that little half step back, B. Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
2-3 shots. This was the guy we had on our KEOTB pound for pound list.
Yeah.
This was beautiful boxing, just completely neutralized Brandon Figueroa, and Figueroa could not adjust, B. He could not adjust. They made the mistake of thinking it was going to be the same fight as the last, and when it wasn't, they were not prepared. 120, 108, Pool Boy Steph, Scooter Fulton. Jim. Judges had a 116, 112 twice.
A little too close.
117, 111 once. 116, 112 is borderline egregious. 117, 111.
I don't see how you could find 4 rounds to give to.
No, I couldn't find one. You summed up my assessment that I was going to give in one sentence and how I got to my scorecard. I'm sorry. I do not think Brandon Figueroa landed one significant
No.
punch in 12 rounds. I
What
didn't say
was
he didn't land a punch.
show me the clean, not pawing. There was no leverage on any of his
He had
shots.
nothing, no mustard on his shots. Was he doing that on purpose, B? If
I don't
not, tell
know.
me
It
what
looked like
was
he was
going on.
reaching out trying to grab the kid.
Why was he pitter patting when this kid just has gotten to where he's gotten, which is two-time champion in 2 divisions, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
How did he get there? It wasn't by pitter pattering. It looked like there was nothing on those shots.
No, he looked terrible.
Did he look terrible, or
Did Steph Fulton make him look terrible?
Right.
I'm going to say Scooter Fulton made him look terrible. And we'll see we have to judge Figueroa if on another fight. But I will say this.
They're both still young, so Figueroa will be back. We will see him again. Brendan, look, take your guess of what you watched. Was that Steph being that good? Was it Figueroa not?
I think it's Steph.
B,
It's Steph being that good against that guy. So we got to see Steph Fulton, Angelo Leo next. That's the fight I want. But I think Angelo Leo's going to Japan
30?
for a fight.
Oh.
I think he's going to go fight in Japan. I want to see Steph Fulton.
Do you want me to talk about some of the people that are there now?
I want to see Steph Fulton and Angelo Leo. That's a fight I want to see.
I'd really like to see that fight. You talk about styles make fights. You know, Nick Ball is there.
Mm-hmm.
Espinosa, you and I call him the cheat code.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if anybody beats that dude.
Neither do I. You know, they had written off Scooter B. So Steph isn't in these. Angelo Leo, Luis Alberto Lopez can fight.
He's done. He's got a brain bleed.
Okay, so he's cooked. Does Ray Vargas still have that fucking belt?
I have no idea.
Remember?
Yeah.
So if I'm cool, they have Steph at 7. This is before this weekend, by the way, guys.
Okay.
Shushu came out saying I can beat all these guys at 26. Robesi Ramirez quit in his last fight. Tomoki Kameda is really good. He's not young anymore. What do you think about Shushu, Steph Fulton?
I think he should make it for an East Coast fight. They want to step Shushu up.
I say Nick Ball, Angelo Leo, or Shushu for Cool Boy Steph.
Nick Ball's fighting. Guess who Nick Ball's fighting in March?
Oh,
next month.
Didn't we say he's fighting this Doheny?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear Nick Ball talking shit at this Doheny. Just gets paid to get knocked around. At least it's March, which is close.
Yeah.
So this guy just fought, which is February, meaning Cool Boy Steph.
Yeah.
We need to unify, B. We need to start unifying these low. If you want to make these guys names, you cannot have splintered titles.
No.
Not anymore, B. That's dead. You want guys talking about you at the barbershop? You be the guy.
What is Steph Fulton's obligation? Write us at kobtbboxing@gmail.com if you know. What is Steph Fulton's obligation to PBC? He thanked PBC left and right after the fight. So again, if he's like locked up in some fucked up contract, you know.
I don't have the answer for that other than Wilder is a PBC guy and we've seen stuff happen.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we can get some PBC leeway.
We know we talk about money talking, B. We don't know and might never know until we go to Saudi, go over there for one of these cards. Does a guy like Torki Al Sheikh know about guys? Like, I know he knows about the monster, of course. Does he know about a Cool Boy? Does he know about Angelo Leo?
Yeah.
Where is his, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's, yes, I think he's aware. I think he reads the rankings. I think he reads the top 10 and he goes, well, what about this guy and this guy? And then whoever is working with him says, well, this guy does this guy does that. And he goes, well, get him on the phone, see if we can do X, Y, and Z. For instance, Teofimo Lopez, Bob was saying he's not going to fight over there.
Right.
And now we got, a 3-fight deal.
Right. With three guys, by the way. Guys.
Right.
Teofimo, 3-fight deal. Ryan Garcia, 3-fight deal. Devin Haney, 3-fight deal. You start doing round robins like we spoke about 2 episodes ago. There's no losers.
TBC is the only
including-
odd man out of the promoters. We talked
correct.
about that.
And
So,
you and I have said, I don't want to say debated because we're not debating it. We meant debating people in boxing. You
right.
can be on an island all you want, man. But the days of having
Yeah.
7 solid guys at 140 and 147 like you did a decade ago where you could round robin yourself is dead.
It's dead. You're not gonna do it.
Who do they have? Do they have a star now? Is it Tank and the Mexican Monster and then
That's
just
it.
drops off, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't really have anybody. All right. So
Main event.
Steph Fulton, we apologize.
Hey, we do apologize for not picking you, but we said we're rooting for you. We love you, Scooter. You were our guy.
Yeah.
So
I've met him a couple times. He's cool as shit.
great kid. Spoke to him on Twitter after his victory. Said thanks for believing in me, and it's like you're great, bro. I picked Figueroa to eke it out because I thought that last performance was iffy. You were allowed to look iffy, but we just saw it coming off a bad loss.
Right.
So it was like a bad loss and then a win that
and
was,
then a tough and a tough come up.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and he's 30.
And he's 30 years old. He's got to get moving. That's why I want these unifications.
Yeah.
You know, guys, that's not young for these, for these things. First thing I wanted to say, I knew you were out and it was loud. So I tried not to do the annoying texting thing because it can be distracting, especially with your wife and friends. I would have had a problem with David Benavidez gloves if I was the Morrell camp. They were bothering me. So
The aesthetics of them, like what they like.
they were. Yes.
So that's a whatchamacallit, it's rival, and that's the same as Usyk's pattern, wasn't it? So is this like their new pattern? It's just different colors.
It's distracting to me.
I just don't like red camo or whatever that was.
I don't know. I would have said I'm not. No, I don't. It's distracting me.
Okay.
Look, the bell rings, B, and you immediately see that these guys are operating at the highest level. Great stuff from.
Is there CompuBox numbers on this for a light heavyweight fight? I'm curious because as terms of punches thrown.
Meaning, is it a record or do we have the numbers?
Do we have the numbers? I could probably look it up right now.
I think it was 1,400 combined. I think. Look,
I think I heard that at the end of the fight.
So
guys, I laid off the Boozerinos for this. I was just slowly sipping stuff and turning down all drinks people were trying to buy for me. Because I really wanted to concentrate so I could give you guys a good show today. Because I knew I wasn't going to have time to rewatch it.
Long, we gave a knockout pick to Irish Billy in fight 1.
Mm-hmm.
I forget we picked Pitbull, but I forget how. I think we said by decision.
We said by decision.
And then we picked the over for Cool Boy Steph Figueroa because we liked Steph too much to pick against him, but we liked the over.
Actually, no, I said Figueroa's going to stop him.
Did you?
Yeah.
I know I said it was going the distance.
You did.
So when this Irish Billy comes in, hey, yo, if I don't hear from him on a Saturday, B, I know he's not sniffing around, feeling hotsy-totsy.
You didn't bet, did you? Did you bet?
No.
See? What's the use of
the bindle sticks have been extra bindly as of late. So
my degenerate friend B, cleaned up.
Nice.
And I believe a friend of the show, Michael Manning, I think he cleaned up too. If it wasn't him, another listener sent us their slip. Guys, what happens is people, if they gamble, where we're from in the East Coast, we grew up with bookies. This legal stuff is like weird to us.
Weird to me.
So now it's on people's apps. So what people are doing is sending legal betting, and they just send us their ticket. Like, guys, thanks, guys, I won. Because this Irish Billy, who's part of the show, doesn't listen to us, but we're making all these other maniacs money.
Rich.
I'm making this maniac degenerate friend of mine rich. I mean, he owes me a.
We should bring
he-
him on.
Yeah,
You know what's funny?
he
So
owes
First segment.
KTO
let me tell you
Padilla
something.
steaks.
I
Dinner, not
lost
just
a
me.
lot of people in that bar money on Figueroa, Steph Fulton,
'Cause you're a
because
mush.
well, but it was a mush in a good way. So there was a good 30, there was a good odds came in late to bet on Fulton, right? He became
Hey,
plus 250.
hey, guess what? With Billy Bindle sticks, did you notice the Benavidez fight shifted too?
Yeah.
It
Shifted
got
more
up
towards
to more
Benavidez, right?
towards Benavidez. I was
Yeah.
like,
Mexican
so
money came in.
correct, late. It came in late.
So money came in late for Figueroa too. Maybe it piggybacked off of that,
Right,
that Spanish
right.
name.
Sure. Spanish,
Anyway,
a heavily Mexican card, a heavily
right.
Mexican crowd. The Benavidez defense is highly underrated because it's very simplistic. It's
Right.
just, it's not particularly pretty.
Well, let's keep going on the fight in terms of how it started out.
All right, so yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing. So
Okay.
just an old school high guard, and he fires his punches back. You right off of the guard. Morrell moves so well. Something he does that I love, B. He throws short, crisp shots, right?
Yep.
Then he'll loop something wide and crack you because
You're
what
waiting for the short crisp
right,
shot.
but there's discipline and patience.
He makes really nice angles off of that front
does.
pivot.
High level war, which in my opinion, just me, is the best this sport has to offer. When it's high IQs and they're going to war.
Right.
Look, high level IQ, even higher machismo levels. This Benavidez gets clipped by a perfect right hook in the fifth that it got his attention. Would you call it hurt?
Anybody else goes down from that.
Okay, this maniac and his chin, yo.
It stopped him.
It stopped him in his tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use the words got his attention. If you guys say hurt, no problem. He comes back in the sixth and lands a handful of lead left uppercuts that would separate most people's heads from their body. Two of these guys, granite chins, deadly intentions on every punch. It's rare to see brutality like on this higher level, in my opinion.
And this was a classic light heavyweight battle. So
classic.
This is what we wanted Better BFB to be, and it wasn't. That was a more cerebral type of fight.
Yes. This is Matthew Saad Muhammad type stuff.
I was just gonna say
Mustafa Muhammad type stuff.
Yeah. This was
guys who are really good.
Dwight Cowie,
to kill each other. Dwight Muhammad. Yes.
This was killer shit. Like
yes, there's goons, but they happen to be really good too. Because we'll call people goons and they'll just go out there and try to kill you. You might call Isak Cruz a goon, or you might.
Yeah, Benavidez was he does a guard pull like Lomachenko does.
Yes.
In recent years, more guys have started doing that. That's actually like an MMA trick.
Yeah, talk about that.
That's I think guys have done it for a long time. I'm starting to notice more prominence with it. When a guy is with a high guard, they call it peeling or pulling guard. Peeling, like you peel the guys and then throw a shot behind it. It's really hard to do because typically if I commit to laying my glove on your glove to pull it down, I'm essentially extending my hand to leave myself open for a counter from the guy who's getting his glove pulled down. So you got to pull and punch real quick. It's MMA guys have used that trick for a long time. When a guy's in a guard, they pull it down, pull his hand down, throw a kick, and then throw a punch on top of it.
Sometimes a ref can tell you to stop and call it pawing. Stop that.
Okay, so
I don't like it. I don't like it, by the way.
That is not illegal.
It's not illegal.
In the professional ranks.
It's not.
In amateur ranks, you're not supposed to peel.
Right.
So I think these refs get like they get the two because a lot of those guys still ref amateur fights.
Yeah, sure, in tournaments. Yeah.
So they get
you're coming from a tournament on Friday and then
they get the shit conflated where they'll stop it. I thought Thomas Taylor. This wasn't his best performance in terms of being a referee, but I want speaking more in terms of the fight, as Benavidez is pulling guard on Morrell. Again, Morrell did make adjustments and would land a big shot or try to land a bunch of big shots. We thought Morrell would quit. There is no quit in that guy. There's no quit in his response after the fight. When the decision came in, he said, "I'm only 27. I'll be back. I've only had 11 fights." Going
I
forward,
said,
I thought the championship rounds, David Benavidez really stepped up. I he's kind of okay. I'm going to go ahead and say this in terms of my opinion on David Benavidez. He's like an enigma to me. He's a flat-footed guy who throws a lot of what appears to be arm punches.
yes, they don't look vicious coming.
They don't
at
look
you.
vicious coming in.
Ah.
And you said it last episode. He's not a one-punch KO guy, but he's a wear you down guy. He stands very square. He's there to be hit. But
Yes.
again, he gets his gloves up a lot of times in time. There's no damage really below his forehead. If you look, like where his gloves are protecting, and that's
Yep.
the chin area.
Yep.
So
and because of his long reach, his elbows are covering that body up
covering
too.
his body, yeah.
There's not much to get to there too with that high guard, like you said, eyes up. There'll be nicks, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean. He was nicked up, you know what
Sure.
I mean. But
Well,
you brought it up way earlier with Jason Rosario and Ramos, bro. Some people just nick up.
right.
Golovkin would nick up, and you know what I mean.
Right.
We joke about Arturo Gatti. A cut would open up at the press conference. It's
Yeah,
like,
forget
bro,
it.
our skin is different. All of us are different. You know what I mean?
He Benavidez is just bad intentions. I mean, you could change his name from Mexican Monster to Bad Intentions.
Absolutely.
He wants to hurt you. He's trying
He's
to hurt you.
a mean fighter.
He's a mean fighter. And I got to say, Morrell's got a good mean streak in him too. Once that bell rang, Morrell was had a great night. And again, his response after the fight was classy. I will say this. I didn't think that this was, I heard people saying this was a draw or a robbery, which I think is fucking insane. This was competitive, but for me, rather easy to score. 8-4 or 9-3, I thought, in terms of rounds.
I had it 116, 110.
116, 110.
Yes, because there was a point taken for the
Right.
The knockdown that had to be that. So in 11th, I said that's a bullshit call. They used replay in Vegas, which they should. That's great. Everyone should.
They erased it?
No, they said it was a knockdown.
It was. I didn't think it was it?
No. After looking at it,
Yeah.
you know those ones that you're like, well, he was touched and he went down, but it
Technically, yeah.
So I'm not sure how I wrote it down. I wrote down Benavidez dropped in the 11th. It looked awkward to me, but replay confirmed it was a knockdown. And I wrote in parentheses, by definition.
Okay.
He wasn't hurt.
What did you think about the point taken? I thought that was fucking ridiculous.
Did you hear? Okay. Was it a get back for the call on? Bro, that was. Did you have audio on in the bar?
Yeah.
Was there music playing? It
Those
was.
audio.
First off, Benavidez throws a shot late.
Yes.
Then, well after it, Morrell throws a right hand. I didn't have a problem with it. So
I could see if he did it the round before, and it wasn't like he put his hips into a punch, while Benavidez was walking the other way with his hands down. Benavidez is on the attack. The guy's defend yourself at all times, right?
Look, you're talking about Thomas Taylor here, and you started it by saying you don't think it was his best performance.
It wasn't his best night.
I don't think. Look, you can look when you get touched and go down by the rules of this sport, it's a knockdown.
Okay.
He was fine. He was mad that they were calling it. He said something after the fight. Besides that, because he's fucking he curses like a sailor, Benavidez.
Yeah.
Besides that bullshit knockdown, So, I took a point away from David Benavidez and a point away from Morrell. So it would have been 117, 111.
Okay.
I had a 116, 110. Judges had a 115, 111 twice.
Too close.
118, 108 is more closer to me. UD for David Benavidez. Infinite respect to David Morrell. We said this is our first apology of the night to Cool Boy Steph. Our second is to David Morrell.
Yeah.
We said he would quit. This guy not only didn't quit, he never even contemplated it.
Nah.
He's a goon. So we apologize profusely.
I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
Me too. Me too. And the way it looks before the fight is the way it still looks to me. And that's Beterbiev, Bivol, Benavidez, Morrell, and then got other guys.
Yeah.
Joshua Buatsi, Anthony Yard, Callum Smith, Gavozdik, Connor Wallace, and B's the biggest fan of, the one and only Willie Hutchinson at 18-2.
Willie Hutch just got hurt, so he's got to pull out of his next fight.
So that was in a couple days against Zach Parker. I didn't know that. I didn't know he got hurt. B, I'm not going to say the best. Is this one of the best fun fights?
Yes.
That wasn't close.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean by that?
It can be competitive and not close. This was competitive as shit and not close. I found myself
someone we like very much as a person and shoot the shit with boxing. I sent you the text. It was just in all caps, draw. And I felt, again, talking about a fever dream, like what the kids call trolling, because he fucks with me a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was like, bro, is this you trolling me? That wasn't a close fight.
All right, so we do this a lot. We have to preface this because it's boxing, right?
We have to preface it, unfortunately.
And now, if you weren't following these two closely, did certain people think that, like, Benavidez was just going to steamroll this guy and knock him out in 5 rounds, and then it goes 12, and you're seeing Benavidez, you're looking at, wow, he was knocked down. This guy landed huge shots on him.
He's in it actively.
Guy's still looking good.
He's not getting blown out of there.
Got to be a draw. So, I don't know. Props to both men. Benavidez's work rate is just, it's crazy. Morrell's work rate was crazy. Guys, these are 175 pounders, basically throwing the same amount of punches as 135 pounders. So when you see guys this big fighting like that, and almost every shot was like, I'm trying to fucking.
And B, when someone would get cracked and you're like, holy shit, the other maniac would land something big.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for? It was just Benavidez was doing more of it. Well, that was really good, man.
Benavidez landed like, it was just a lot of punches, man. A lot of punches thrown. And I was wildly impressed with both guys' heart, with their mettle.
Is David Benavidez on? We've been saying since they decided to go to 75, we've been saying that only at 75 exists Bivol and Beterbiev. Then there's these 2 new guys to this division.
Yeah.
And they're both one small, tiny tier below him. Is David Benavidez now on that tier?
He is, and he's on my pound for pound list. So the next time we put one out, he'll be on it.
He's on mine too.
Yeah.
So,
wow. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Again, what I said last week was, and the reward for this is getting Bivol or Beterbiev.
Turki Al Sheikh invited Benavidez to the Saudi card. He said he's down. He's like, yeah, I just need some time off, but I'm gonna go. If I wanted to ask you this, and particularly on air, because we're covering Benavidez, if Beterbiev Bivol is nip and tuck as the first
Rubber match,
I run this back again. Yeah.
If I'm Benavidez?
No. I do Benavidez Morrell too.
Oh, if you're
not
Turkey.
Getting Canelo, you're not getting the Canelo fight if you're Benavidez.
You think Turkey should buy that, put that on the rubber match card as the undercard?
I don't know, but that's the fight I.
My question is this though: I think Beterbiev is not long for this game because he's 40, and that's just what happens.
He could look if he edges out another one, but it's close, and me and you were thinking rubber match, it might not get there. He might just retire.
Right.
As the guy at 75.
You got to think about that. Any guy post 37, right? The next fight could potentially just, not because of injury or anything, because of
Nothing. It's just
desire.
There's no guy that beat Father Time, guys. There's not one
No.
in the history of the sport. I guess the people who got closest were Bernard and Archie Moore.
Yeah. And they're once in a two lifetime fighters. Anyway,
Yeah.
all right. So we'll
Well, what do you think about that? Let's say it's nip and tuck again, and that goes to a trilogy.
I don't
what
think
do you
that-
do if you're Benavidez? Okay, so what do you do if you're Benavidez?
I don't think Benavidez wants to do that because he'll risk even the winner of the rubber match.
Okay, so then what do you do?
If you're Benavidez,
Yeah,
fight to stay busy.
Fight a guy like Buatsi,
Fight to stay busy. Live with the fucking criticism, so you can lock down a legacy fight and be a first ballot Hall of Famer if you win that one. He used to spar Bivol, by the way.
Did you think about or look at, because things look different in print? Did you look at Benavidez' last 4? It's pretty crazy. That's why he's going to be on the pound for pound for pound list.
The only one we didn't like was Demetrius Andrade, because he was really a 54, 60 pounder that moved up to 68.
Yeah, and Gvozdyk only had one. He came out of retirement. His only loss was to Beterbiev, who he was in there with for the first half of the fight. Lost that, retired, got his head straight, came back, 1-3 by knockout, I think, but definitely 1-3.
Did you see what the guys? Yeah, it was real comeback fights.
Yeah, but he's good,
he beat me up. Of course he's good. Yeah, he's really fucking good.
Gvozdyk right now is still top 10 after the loss to Benavidez.
Right.
To me.
I thought Gvozdyk, I thought him and Beterbiev, I thought he was going to beat Beterbiev.
Oh, going into that.
Yeah, he just beat Adonis Stevenson.
Yeah, he almost killed him. Was it that fight? He was in a coma, etc.
Coma.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I knew I was there at Gvozdyk, Beterbiev. I knew it was going to be that Gvozdyk was no joke. An undefeated belt holder that came up with Lomachenko and
Usyk and Baranchyk.
And Baranchyk in the Olympics.
They're on the same fucking Olympic team.
That's like you're talking to the 84 US team.
Fucking dream team.
That's a dream team right there.
All right.
So B thinks, look, bro, unless someone gets done dirty, I think you're looking at a trilogy with Bivol and Beterbiev.
All right. Well,
and then you got to think, what is Benavidez doing? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you. All right.
That's all I'm saying. And then Benavidez is left with his dick in his hand, and I don't know what you do to wait again, So
I think if the money was right, they'd make Morrell again. I don't know if Morrell wants it. I don't know if Benavidez wants it. What does it do for each other's careers right now?
Morrell needs a couple more fights. I'd heal up and come back sooner rather than later, whereas Benavidez has more options. Now Morrell should fight a Gvozdyk.
Yeah.
It's the perfect type of fight. So, guys, this week B left out.
We don't have much.
B left something out.
What'd I leave out?
My guy, the Wolfman, Artur Bjornslanov, is fighting on Thursday night.
That's not listed on anything.
Versus a guy named Mohammed Mimon. I don't know who he is, but you guys have heard me talk about the Wolf, Artur Bjornslanov. He's a goon.
He's another guy who trains out of Canada.
Yeah, I like those cards they do up there in Canada. This is in Canada. B, we always talk about, for some reason, their culture. There's people in suits at dinner tables watching the fights.
Yeah.
So it's like another one of them. When he gets through this guy, it's time, B. I don't know if I ever stamped him as Pazzi Prospects.
You did.
But I stamped him, or I said, look out for this guy, because there's two different.
His real name is Mavladin.
Yes.
But call me Arthur.
Yeah. 17-0, 14 knockouts. He's fighting at 140. He's 29. That Russian pedigree. There are no
He's fighting a
names.
Frenchman.
Yeah. Yeah, Mohammed Mimoun is it's a Muslim guy, but he fights out of Montreal. I think he fights out of Montreal now, or is he still fighting out of France?
Fighting out of Plant City,
Plant
Florida.
City, Florida. That's where the Showbox thing is, isn't it?
Pro box.
So he's probably down there to get some
Yeah.
work in.
All right.
Yeah, look, this is my guy. He's never been
The
stopped.
Wolf.
The Wolf, Mohammed Mimoun has never been stopped in 30 fights. He can't punch, which means he can't keep the Wolf off him. I think he gets packed up late.
Packed up. Good night.
Billy, is there anything here? Because I'll tell you why, Billy. This is interesting because the dude's never been stopped.
How do you spell his name?
I'm going to send it to you, Bill.
Okay, so that's Thursday night, guys, on ESPN Plus.
That's
I like a nice Thursday night.
You love him.
Saturday afternoon from Manchester, Derek Chisora, the guy who just refuses to die, War Chisora versus Otto Wallin, heavyweight, 10 rounds. B, talk to me here. Is Chisora retiring either way? Is that what
Dude, he'll never retire. That guy's never going to retire. Just be prepared for that guy to fight for the rest of our lives. He's going to be 70 years old. If they give him a fight, he'll take it.
Okay, so with that said, he's got 13 he's 35-13. Of 13, he's only been stopped 4 times, and they're always like elite guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Otto Wallin lost that awkward, bloody fight with Fury that was just ugly, and then got packed up by Joshua
He's
about a year ago.
He's made a name off of that Fury fight.
He did. He came back in July and we didn't even cover it. It must have been somewhere weird.
Yeah.
Literally, it must have been in Sweden or something. It was in Manchester. So it must have been on an undercard that wasn't shown to us here. Oh, no. I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. I hit the new one. This was in Atlantic City at the Tropicana.
Ooh, Wallin's last fight?
Yes. He fought a guy named Honorariod Iwariem, who was 20-5, and all 5 losses were by stoppage.
And that guy looks like he's 135.
He does. He stopped him in 1 round. It was an 8-rounder. I have no idea what's gonna happen here.
Yeah. I think
is there a line on this, Billy? Derek Chisora, Otto Wallin?
I think Chisora wins.
Yeah, Wallin is -200, and it's 8.5 rounds.
He's a 2-1 favorite. I'm going Chisora in the upset special. Decision.
I'm going Otto Wallin in the over in a stinker.
In a terrible fight?
Stinker.
All right. Well,
Billy, the over-under is 8.5, and
that's at that co-op you like.
Yeah, I do. And then Pro Box from San Antonio.
They're traveling. They're going to be in Texas.
I like that. Ramon Cardenas, 25-1, 14 KOs. His only loss was a wonky majority decision to Danny Flores. So I don't really look at that and it was like 7 years ago.
A real loss.
Yeah. Brian Acosta, 20-0, 8 KOs, can't punch. This is a bantam. I like Ramon Cardenas.
Should be fun.
Yeah, it should be. I don't know if there's an over-under.
Yeah, I mean, not much, guys. So we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to watch them, so that's why.
Right, but I want you guys, what you guys should do is watch the replay of Benavidez, Morrell, and that whole card if you have it somewhere.
Well, watch that Mirko Cuello.
Yeah, watch that one.
Fight.
Watch the untelevised stupid.
Because you'll see Carmel Moten. You'll see, you know what I mean? I don't know what Sky Sports is doing. They don't have the Adam Azim fight, Sergey Lipinets, and it didn't air yet, the full fight.
I watched it on YouTube.
Was it like a bootleg?
It wasn't edited. It was right. It was there. It might not be there now, but I watched it.
I couldn't find the proper one of it. So you
for
got
some reason, after we went out the other night, I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning in the hotel, and I just started rewatching the fights, and I found that one on YouTube from the day before.
okay.
Anyway, William, you have no bets to speak of, correct?
Correct.
And I think that does it for tonight.
Yeah. Do we have any mail? Or
No, we don't have any mail tonight. Nothing. You guys didn't write us.
All right.
Write
Well,
us.
boys, a week from now, hopefully.
Oh, we got big
We'll
news
be-
for you Philly fans. Could have some big news next week. Hopefully, are we doing a show next Monday, or do we have to like take a day off in celebration for you two to recover?
Celebration. If I mean,
Or morning.
I'm obviously into record.
Billy won't be.
That's fine. That's his thing. If he's
He's either mourning or celebrating.
exactly no, that's lit. It's Monday will be bad for him either way. It's either like, but the hangover will be a sweet one, and
Good
it'll cheer him
hangover or
up.
bad hangover?
Right.
I mean,
that's
if my hangover lasts till 9:30 p.m. at night, then we got problems, boys.
true.
No, you're 40 now. That's how long they last.
True. That's a good point.
All right. Well, you can find me at the Killer B24 on Twitter, at I_no_that_kid on IG. Write us at KEOTBboxing@gmail.com. Follow us on IG at KEOTBboxing. Follow us on YouTube at KEOTB Podcast. We've been posting, Billy, thank you, has been posting all of our videos on YouTube. What, last 3 episodes?
Yeah, and whoever keeps asking me where all the old ones are, they're in a folder not on YouTube.
Why don't you guys DM him and he'll send them directly to you?
I'll send them singularly to each person.
Yeah.
I like curmudgeon Billy. I like when he gets mad about it. I am at BoxCutterPazzi on Instagram, at Vinnie_Paz on Twitter. Knock 'em out the box t-shirts are over at jmtstore.com, along with the new Hornets flip and jacket, hat, and hoodie all to match. We're working on the next one, and like I told you guys, a couple of big announcements coming soon regarding merch and the new records and stuff like that. And we got to start getting our plans together, particularly Billy and I guess, for the Boots fight in April in AC. Billy, we got to figure out, because I guess I got to figure out, are we going to just crash in AC, or am I going to crash at your house and have my niece and 2 nephews jump on my head in the morning when I wake up at your house?
That could be fun.
Yeah, for them it'll be incredible.
All right. Well, till next week. Hopefully, for you guys, there's what is the name of the Super Bowl trophy?
Lombardi?
Yeah, the Lombardi Trophy.
Lombardi?
I should know that.
You hope we lift the Lombardi?
I hope you guys lift the Lombardi.
They're gonna try their hardest to give it to that Mahomes. So let's go Saquon and
go Birds.
Yeah, go Birds.
Go Birds. All right.
Say
good
night,
night,
Billy.
Good night and go Birds, Billy.
Knock 'em out the box.